Hey, welcome back, guys. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the channel.
Welcome to our live today, Friday. It's a different time, and we have with us a special guest. And she was our guest for this past Wednesday's podcast, which
Yep.
was podcast episode number 93. And it was Manifest the Relationship That You Want. So, do we have that one up there? All right,
Yep.
episode
Number
number 93.
98.
Take the first step in manifesting the relationship you want with Reverend Sherri James. And so tonight we're going to have her as a guest as we speak. But until then, anything. So our Wednesday episode was quite wonderful.
It was.
Yeah, so we had a great time with Reverend Sherri.
Yes.
Reverend Sherri is not married, but she was willing to take the time with us to talk about how you can manifest the relationship that you want, and how she's doing the exact same thing, how she's manifesting the relationship that she wants, and what she's doing and how she can get that done. So she's on the West Coast, so time is a little different today, right? So we're really late. It's a little different. But the episode number, she was our guest on episode number 93.
Yep.
And it was how to manifest. What was it, Jason?
It was taking the steps.
Oh, take the first step in how to manifest the relationship that you want.
Man, that was
Right.
fun. That
Right,
was
that
fun.
was a
It was
great
a lot
episode.
of laughs.
If you have not, which I can't imagine anybody who didn't.
I know.
If you have not looked at episode or listened to episode number 93, you definitely want to look at it and listen to it tonight. We're going to be bringing Reverend Sherri in real quick. She's on the West Coast, so we had to do it a little later this time today. But next Friday, we should be back at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, as always. So is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, who's ever out there, tell me where you're coming in from, where you're watching us from. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, check in. Let us know who's out there. The device that we're on, we can't see you unless you make a comment. So make a comment and let us know if you have any questions for Reverend Sherri. So tonight we're actually going to be talking about how to manifest things in your life. And Reverend Sherri is a guru on manifesting money. So if anybody needs any more money, let us know. Reverend Sherri is going to take us there and how to manifest money, how to manifest your dreams, how to actually, she does 60 seconds of breathing. So she's going to get all into that. And I know that we want things in our lives that we have not shown up yet.
Right.
And Reverend Sherri is going to tell us how to get those things.
How to go about getting those things. Vicky, how are you? Thanks for chiming in. We appreciate that.
Yes, yes. So we're going to start our Friday Night Live, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Like we said, welcome back to the channel, guys. We really appreciate you. Thank you for checking in. Reverend Sherri will be with us shortly. She's just finishing up some other business.
Yeah, so like most of us, it's a Friday Night Live. We've had a full week, and she is finishing up. She's actually just getting off work, so she took the time to be with us. So we're just waiting for her to finish doing all those things when you have to be a busy mom and a busy entrepreneur, and you're head of a church. So she's the senior minister of Up Church in California.
Yep, Los Angeles, California.
Yeah, and that's Understanding Principles. So as soon as Reverend Sherri is available, we can talk with her. But until then, we will let you know that we are on every Friday live at 6 o'clock p.m. Unless there's a time difference, a time zone, we'll let you know.
Yep.
The other thing is you can reach all of our podcasts at legendaryrelationship.com. And you can check out our website, and the episodes are there.
Yep.
Or you can go to our podcast. You can go to YouTube, and you can put on
Loving Beyond the I Do.
That's right. You want to show them, Jason, real quick?
No, I got the legendary one. This is the legendary YouTube page, which we're broadcasting to that now. So if you haven't, please go over there and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it, and then you'll get notifications whenever we go live. So,
and then every Wednesday, as we said before, every Wednesday our podcast comes out. It's not live; it is pre-recorded. So even if you don't tune in on Wednesday, Wednesday is when they come out. You can listen to them anytime. All episodes are there. at Loving Beyond the I Do podcast. So anytime that or anywhere you get your podcast from, you can actually listen to it or you can watch it on YouTube at the Loving Beyond the I Do channel. I think Reverend Sherri is ready, so let us. She has popped in with us, so I think she's ready.
I think so.
So let's bring our guest in tonight. Hey,
Hi.
Sherri. How are you? It's been a busy week.
It's been a very, very busy week. I'm actually still at the office, so that's why you different background.
That's
Um,
okay. We
yeah,
understand you
yeah,
are a busy woman. We thank you for taking
Yeah.
the time out this
Thank you so
Friday.
much. We really appreciate it.
So,
thank you.
and we know life happens, so we're just gonna go with the flow.
That's right.
Doesn't matter where you are or what's going on.
It's all about the information, and we about to hit them
It's
right
all in
between the eyes with
divine
some good
order.
good information. That's right.
So if you don't mind being at the office, we don't mind you being at the office.
All right, sounds good.
All right. So I know we talked about Wednesday's episode number 93. I actually had a great time. I hope I didn't badger you too much.
It was so much fun.
It was. I had a great time. And but today we're going to talk about, since you are the guru of manifesting money, we're going to talk about manifesting things. So first let tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Sure, sure. So, Sherry, hey, oh my God, I'm on the screen by myself.
Yeah.
All
So,
you.
good evening, everyone. I am Reverend Sherri James, and I'm the senior minister for Understanding Principles. And I am also a financial professional with EFC Wealth Management, which you see in the background here. And I am a student of abundance and a student of prosperity. And my joy is helping people, especially people in ministry, understand how to have the abundance that helps them to be independent of their ministries. And what that means is that they're able uh, to just do a better job. You know, life is easier when you don't have to worry about money. Life is so much easier when you don't have to worry about how the bills are going to be paid. And so that's where I specialize. That's one of the things that attracted me to this particular discipline that I dropped into 20 plus years ago. And so, yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, so and you're helping. I know you say you help ministers, right? Not to be broke. So that manifestation is still a principle, right? So you can teach us all how to manifest money. All right. So
Absolutely, absolutely. I just have a heart for ministers. This really grew out of my own personal experience. It the season of my life where I became a minister and then also became a mom would all like coincided together. And so it was crazy, and it was nerve-wracking to just try to figure out how to like pay for pull-ups and diapers and all kinds of stuff. And again, I think I shared last time, you guys, had 9 months to get jumped into parenthood. Mine was like, we need you to act now. This family member needs action now. And it's like, okay, I'm here. Right. And so that journey just really gave me a heart for how hard it is to do ministry. And every year, so many ministers leave ministry because it is very rewarding work, and it can be very thankless work. And the figuring out the money piece is such a powerful piece to figure out. And if you get it, then it makes ministry so much easier.
so tell the audience what is the first step in trying to manifest things in your life and especially money.
Sure. Well, the first step is really understanding where you are, right? Look, getting a really good picture of where you are. Think of it like when you go to the doctor and they run a battery of tests. They want to know how your blood, what they do, what they call your blood panels, your lipid panels, this and that panel. They want to know, who is this person? What are your numbers, basically? And so the same thing is true when you are talking about manifesting money. The first thing that you have to do is get clear on, who am I today with money, and what does my money look like today, good, bad, or indifferent. And what I found is that people have a hard time doing this because it's hard to look at where they are without judging where they are. And so the first step in making a change with anything, but certainly with money, is just to get clear on who you are, but not telling a story about who you are, but just understanding it, not better than it is, not worse than it is, but
Hmm.
actually as it is.
All right,
All
good.
right, I got a couple of comments here. Oh, Antoinette, thank you for chiming in. She says
Hey,
good
Antoinette.
evening and blessings.
Blessings. All right. And
And Regina, thank you for checking in too. Good
Regina
evening.
says good
Yep.
evening.
Hey, if
All
you
right.
guys have any questions, comments, please just go ahead
Vicky
and type them
Thomas
in.
says welcome and hello.
Yes, she did. Yep.
All right. So, Reverend Sherri, so tell us about, let's bring up her website, Jason, real quick.
Hmm.
And I know you do a number of things. So, what is your website about? Tell us a little bit about that and what it is that you kind of, because I know you definitely specialize in a lot of things. So, tell us a little bit about your website.
So I specialize in manifesting money. That's what I specialize in. And so what you'll see on the website, there's an opportunity to really just sign up. And my call to action is clear. It is time for you to start winning. And so I
Mm-hmm.
invite you to jump on my mailing list, get some information about what I am doing. I email once a week. Really don't spam you, but just some information about some things, some actionable stuff that you can do something with. I also have this series of videos, just breathing space. A couple of years ago, I got the privilege of um, learning how to do breath work. And
Mm.
that has been had such a tremendous impact on my life. Disease cannot live in the presence of oxygen. And so many of our diseased bodies, we don't realize that our breath is so shallow. We don't even breathe deeply enough so that the oxygen can get into the rest of the body. So that's something that is really important to me. And I figured, let's find, and I love nature. One of the ways that I understand God and that I got to know God was through nature. So this is a collection of videos that either I personally captured and or reached out to friends of mine in other parts of the world and asked them to capture. And so that's what you see here in this breathing space. They're always 60 seconds, and it's just an opportunity for you to just take a pause, observe something beautiful about God, and breathe and reconnect to your soul. Then the bio, manifesting money. So the first cycle of manifesting money is coming to an end. The next cycle,
Oh
enrollment,
no, we missed it.
April. Yep. The next cycle goes to April, starts April 25th. And so I want to encourage you. So this is what manifesting money is. So the first thing that you've got to do is rewrite your money story.
All right.
Meaning the story that you have told about yourself in your head is the reason that money looks the way that it does in your life. And so the first, and this grows out of my personal journey. So everything that I teach is out of something that I have learned and worked in my life. And so
Okay.
the first thing that you got to do is you got to write a new money story. And so I take you, it's an audio course, and I take you through how you rewrite your money story, how you redefine how you show up with money. And what you're going to find is that you will begin to do different things with the same resources. The money is it's not magic because it's really just you have a different identity with money, but the money is going to go further. The same thing that you thought was not enough will turn out to be more than enough once you rewrite that money story. And so it's a really powerful process. I love this course so much, and it is help. It's really for really anyone that wants a new money story. But my focus is on ministers and ministry. And again, too many people leave the ministry because of money, and this is my course to help those who want to stay in ministry. The Money Poems is my first book. It is a system for daily abundance. And again, everything comes down to your inner game with money. Like whatever it is
Mm-hmm.
that you're doing inwardly is how it's showing up outwardly. And so, what Money Poems does is that it gives you a really simple system to begin to rewrite those internal money tapes. And then, of course, we have the Bible Hangout, which I created in 2013. This is an opportunity for people to just dive deep into metaphysical Bible. And then you can always join me on Sundays at Up Church. We are virtual right now. So you'll get a chance to see us at Upchurch, youtube.upchurch, youtube.com/upchurchla. And we are there every Sunday, 1 o'clock Pacific. And then finally, some testimonials on the website.
So basically, when we talk about manifesting anything, it's the process really is to start in the mind, how we view things, right? Because our episode. Go ahead, Sherri. Go ahead.
I wouldn't say start in the mind, meaning we know that everything originates in the mind. It's getting clear on what has shown up. So
Okay.
your life is an unfailing witness of what's actually going on in your mind. So
Absolutely.
it's very hard to say, what's happening in my mind?
So we
Because
don't need to
it's
say
like
that, right?
it's like being in the picture is that you can't see the frame because you're in the picture. So I wouldn't actually tell someone to start that way. What I would tell someone to do is observe your results. What is actually showing up in your life? Because whatever is showing up in your life is proof of what is happening in your mind. And it's a lot easier to diagnose what's happening in the mind that way than it is to try to, meaning to go to look at the evidence and ask what the evidence is telling you. Right. The same way that a good detective would say, how do we catch the criminal? It's like,
Right.
well, you
Right.
start looking at the evidence because criminals have a signature in the way that they rob or steal or kill or whatever.
Okay. Okay. So do we have another? Do we have a comment or a
We do.
question?
We do.
All
We have
right.
a comment.
Okay, Reverend Sherri, you have to read that
Okay.
if you can see it
Let
good
me
on your
read that.
screen.
She says, I am in ministry and I have made anointed oils, and I have had prophets, intercessors speak in my life that I should market my oils, but I have not heard that directly from God. It has been difficult to even get started on that path. What advice do you offer to get me started? Girl, let me tell you
Oh,
something.
come on, Reverend Sherry, give it to us.
So the first thing you need to do is come be part of manifesting money. But the second thing that you need to do is pick up the story of
You can hide it.
Second Kings chapter 4, verses 1 through 7. This is the widow with the oil with Elisha. And part of let's say this. Can you put her comment back on the screen?
I sure can.
So she said, I have not heard directly from God. So let me help you. The first thing is that God never changes. Okay.
Hmm.
So if God is ever speaking to you, God is always speaking to you. So I have not heard is not a function of God not speaking.
Mm.
If God never changes, ever, ever, ever changes. If God were to stop speaking, that would mean that God changed. Hear that, right? Because God
Okay.
never changed. So whatever God is ever doing, God is always doing. So then what our focus has to be is, how do I deepen my listening?
Okay.
Right? How That's where I want to put my work. And so one of a simple thing that you can do is, this is one of your tools. We're doing this right now in our Lenten season. A simple tool to help you is reading scripture, just the habit every day. And it sounds so simple. It sounds so simple, but it is that simple. Just reading scripture. So the thing is that if you can think about, when we used to play, they don't do this anymore because it's not as safe. Jordan ain't never been down the street and I not know where he is. But back in
Hmm.
the day when it was safe, I would be down the street playing with my friends, and and then my mom would be time to come in, or she might need me to do something, and my mom would stand out the door and say, Sherri. And I
And
might
it
be
didn't matter how far you were, you could hear it.
dodgeball, right? And you know how noisy kids are. And I would still hear my mom's voice above the din of all the voices because my ear was attuned to my mom's voice. And I'm saying that God is always speaking. And so it is about attuning our ears so that we can hear God's voice above all the other voices. Because she just said, I heard all these other voices, but I have
Hmm.
not heard from God. And that only tells me that that's a tuning problem. Right. And the way that you tune your ear, right? You want a spiritual ear, the same way like in music, they say, do you have a good ear? Right.
Right.
Do you
Hmm.
have a good musical ear? And then there are things that, like, people who have a good musical ear, they can hear pitch, they can hear timbre, they can hear like different information in a sound that to somebody else it might just sound like a blur. So the simple act, and it's a daily discipline, right? And so it might be the same verse every day. It might be every week a new verse. It might be a new verse every day. You pick. It doesn't really matter. But what you're doing as you're reading it is that you are tuning your ear to the voice of God in you. God never stops speaking. If we haven't heard God, it's only because we got a tuning problem. And so we can all tune up.
Yes, Lord, I know I need to tune up.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Hey, oh
thank
wait,
you.
wait, I got one more. I got one more. Because
Okay.
wait,
Okay, okay. We're not gonna cut you short. Go ahead.
this is from Manifesting Money. So this is module 9. The desire to do a thing is evidence that you can do a thing. You can't think something that you don't have the ability to do.
Okay.
Period.
So do you think
That,
because she's saying other people is saying it that she
that's
hasn't
just
done
the
it?
way she was willing to hear it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So the fact that she can think market my oils is evidence of her capacity to market those oils. Now, the gap between thinking it and here is skill,
Okay.
right? And so it's just a skill. That's the only gap between her, these oils, and the marketplace. Because there are people God sends you to serve people. That's
Before we go
that's
to
okay. I'm
Oh
going
no
on.
no no! You
No,
good,
no.
Sherry? I was telling Jason don't go to the next question yet because
I wasn't.
staying in that same space that you're in right now.
Mhm.
What about that person who says, "I want to do something, but I don't know what to do.
Right.
What should
Almost
I
just like
do?"
paralyzed, just
Right,
at a
right.
Sure,
standstill.
sure. So let me tell you something. This is module 9 as well. Okay.
All right.
Module 9 is fire.
Okay.
So part of what keeps us where we are is we never outgrow where we are.
Wow.
So the
Okay.
way
That's
out of
deep.
where you are is that you got to outgrow. Think about like how do kids get new clothes? Kids get new clothes when they outgrow the clothes that they have. They've either used them up or gotten too big for them. And so the way out of where you are is to outgrow where you are. And the way you outgrow where you are is to master where you are. So that means that I am taking the best care that I know how to take of my child. I am taking the best care that I know how to take of my home. I'm doing the best job that I can do with my car. Meaning there's not any place where I'm showing up with less than my A game.
What about relationships?
Same thing.
Mm-hmm. So
Same
they
thing. Am I
so they're
doing
doing.
am I doing my best with the relationships that I have?
Mm-hmm.
Because relationships are just connections, right? Between, right? So that one takes on a romantic angle versus another. It is, am I being my best with what I have? And when I am my best, like, when you're your best,
Mm-hmm.
because you ain't got no guilt filling up in here, right? When you are your best with what you have, you naturally outgrow where you are.
And so then the as far as what they should do because it basically comes to them because they've
Mm-hmm.
outgrown that old space. Now they're looking to move and feel something else. Okay. All right. So I
You
know
never know what ideas you may keep from yourself by not doing your best.
wow.
There,
Oh, Sherry
there,
got some gems. She going deep
Man,
tonight. She
she dropping
you
some
will never
gems.
know what doors that you keep shut. Not God, you.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, God is yes and amen. The spirit is always yes and amen to every prayer. Every prayer is yes and amen. So if there's a door closed, well, one, here's the thing. There are no closed doors. There are doors that you just need the skill or the consciousness to be able to open.
Okay.
But there are doors that you don't even know are there because of the way that you're showing up. And there are doors that you won't even know. Let me give you an example. This is a simple one. So when I was I was in the entertainment industry and I was working as a producer, and the entertainment industry went on strike. And it was also 2008. And so the real estate market went belly up. So the two industries that I was in and invested in and drew my livelihood from went belly up. And so inside of like 2 or 3 months, it felt like, but I'm sure it was probably longer than that, everything turned upside down. So I just needed to get a job to stop the hemorrhaging. And I'd always defined myself as an entrepreneur. So it was a big emotional thing to like take a job. But it was like, you know what? Let's just stop the bleeding, like triage, right? Let's
Right,
get
right,
the
right.
cold press
Yes.
and let's put the tourniquet on.
That's
So
good.
I'm in this
Yeah.
job and I'm about to get fired. It's a sales job. I'm doing donor raising money. And
Sherry, you about to get fired? You took a
I was
job and you about to get
Listen, I was about to get fired because I couldn't close. I couldn't close. And it was just like, this is the worst thing ever. I'm about to lose this job. And so I decided I got to figure this out. And I got a notepad, like those legal pads.
Oh, yeah, like
And
stone
I would
pads.
literally sit I had a little headset on and I would sit at my little cubicle and I would write affirmations in between phone calls. And because I needed this job. Like it was 2008. I don't know if you guys remember what that
Oh,
felt
yeah, I
like.
remember that. Yes.
Right. But people were out of work. It was hard to
Mm-hmm.
get work. And everything had just gone to, hell in a handbasket. And so I just decided I'm going to get good right here. And I always knew this is not my long-term thing, but I'm going to get good right here because I need this job and I need to stop the bleeding. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So this is maybe 6 months in. And I knew that there were other departments, but they were all calling departments, right? Like you just get paid a little bit more in this other department where you're doing these calls. But inside of 6 months, something broke where it was one promotion after another, after another, after another. And an opportunity came up that when I started working at this company, I didn't even know existed. Did not, all I knew was that this company was a telesales company for high-end nonprofits like Habitat, Oxfam, AmeriCares, organizations like that. And I got an opportunity to apply for it. And I, applied and got the position. All of a sudden, I had a salary, my own office. I'm no longer the one making the phone calls, and I'm supervising a team of callers in what they call the mid-range. Meaning, we work with the higher level donors that are giving like above $1,000 a year. I didn't even know that was there. But
Mm-hmm.
doing my best where I was opened a door that I didn't even know existed.
okay.
That's what I mean. It's that
Right.
we don't even know what things we keep away from ourselves because we don't show up with our best effort and we show up with less than our very best.
For sure.
So before
I
we get to it.
Yeah, I just want to say because Antoinette asked about where can you get the book. Right now, the book, here it is legendaryrelationship.com/books. You can get it there. You can get it off of Rev Sherri's website as well. It's revsherry.com. You can get it there. Let me put that up there. Those are the two places you can get it. Now, it'll be up there after the broadcast on Legendary. So just give us a chance to get it up there.
All right. So the other question was Vicky's asked, and Vicky, I just want to understand your question. You said the vision board. Are you asking how to create a vision board? I think you need to go back up.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Well, you setting this thing on fire here.
Right. So let's go. Let's start with Antoinette so we can kind of read the comments to
Okay.
Reverend Sherri up some more. So after she asked the question.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
so
we got that one. Yep.
Right. Okay. So what did she say?
Vicky chimed in and said it's like creating
A vision.
A vision, right?
Okay, it's like creating a vision.
Like a vision board.
And then I think you were commenting, and she said that's true.
Yep. She got a lot of shit's true.
And so then she says creating a vision board. So Vicky, are you asking how to create a vision board,
Or should you create a vision board to help manifest money?
or to help? What exactly is your question? Is it going back to Antoinette's question as to should I do something or shouldn't I do something, or how to bring clarity?
Okay, so I got one more for Antoinette here.
I love that. She said it is a tuning problem. I'm currently being pulled and stretched in different ministries. I need to step away from some of the ministries. And I'm raising my hand because me too, Antoinette. Me too. Like it is, you have to make room for the things of God to come through you.
Okay.
And for example, this is one of the things that I had to do this year. I had to take a break from the Bible Hangout in order to release this course, Manifesting Money. There have been so many courses that I have that have just stall because there were just too many things that were on my plate. And so it was super important for me to really have the courage, right? Because I built my identity around showing up for Thursday night, and to have the courage to say, you know what, I've got to put this on hold so that I can release this other thing. Because again, my work is, how do I make myself, and I'm then teaching people along the way, how do I make
Mm-hmm.
myself independent of what I receive from my church in the form of a salary? I'm grateful for it, but you know what? I want to be able to do like Joel Osteen and say, you know what, just keep that money, or I'll donate it back to the church.
Mm-hmm.
So that, but that means I've got to say no to the things that I'm doing for free so that I can say yes to the things that are going to
Going
make
to
me financially free.
okay. Okay. So did you understand that, Antoinette? All right. So
Yeah, she said exactly.
okay. So Vicky also. So bring Vicky's comment. She says, and I know this is second nature
Oh,
to us,
Right.
but how do you get started with the vision board?
so there are many, many, many approaches to a vision board. I will tell you one of the best ones that I experienced. A few years ago, I'd gone through I'd experienced a foreclosure in 2008, which was, that I can talk about it now, but it was such
Your
shame that
ego.
I felt at
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
Uh, and I'm trying to think. I got in trouble with the house that I live in now, and then got out of trouble. Right, like
Mm-hmm.
everything turned around, and then I got back in trouble again.
Mm.
And the shame, shame is one of the most destructive feelings that we can have,
Yep.
because shame doesn't say this thing is wrong. Shame says I am
I.
wrong. And
Yep.
that's what makes it so hard to come back from shame. Anyway, I'd gotten in trouble a second time. So here I am again, standing at the brink of losing my home. And I decided I'm going to make a vision board. I found the picture from the ad when I first bought the home. Because that home was manifested through prayer. It was one of the first early manifestations I created when I first, joined Up Church and started working on, my wealth plan for myself. So I got the picture from the advertisement, and I got scriptures, and I found every scripture that resonated with me that had to do with a home. And where we were at this point, I was trying to like get a modification, and they were telling me no. And it was just crazy. And I would call them, and I was trying to work. We had the rescue program, whatever, that was with
Mm-hmm.
California, Keep Your Home California. So I was trying to work with them. So I'm having these phone calls every day, just trying like every gyration, right? But then what I did is I created a vision board, and all it had on there was a picture of my house and scriptures, right? And affirmations on my house. And I put it in my prayer closet. And then every day I would go in my prayer closet and talk to God about my home. And so one of the things that I learned is that I'm not good with visualizing like with my eyes, meaning inner eye, but I'm good with
Mm-hmm.
visualizing with my ear, my inner ear. And so I would, in part of my prayer time, I would hear my mom, because I know my mom's voice. I can hear her voice now, even though she's not on this call. I would hear my mom say to me, "Congratulations, Sherri. I'm so proud of you. You pulled it off." I would just hear her say that. And this went on for, I don't know, a few months, right? And I'm at
Right.
the brink. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to have to move, and I don't know where I'm gonna live then. And one day, out of the blue, I get a call from the mortgage company. Now nothing changed. I didn't get an increase in salary. I didn't, like, no numbers changed at
Mm-hmm.
all. The same people who were telling me no said, "We're going to give you a trial modification."
Mm.
So
Whew.
that's one of my favorite ways of, and I still own that house today, and I'm well past that experience, but that's where I was, and that's how low it had gotten. And that's one of my favorite ways of using a vision board, is to be specific. And
Yes.
again, I believe in the power of scripture, because again, at that scripture is there's so much mystical power in it, and just putting those scriptures around that house literally brought. I mean, I live there today. It's the house that I'm in right now and paying off.
So, Vicky, let us know if that answers your question on how do you start a vision board. First, the first thing you have to do is go get a board. So, a vision board is actually what do they call it? Like a science board. I don't even know what they call it.
Yeah, science board, poster board.
Poster board.
Yep.
So you get the poster board, and you want to start to vision. You want to put on the board what you want to vision in your life, what you want to demonstrate in your life. So it's not. I know oftentimes people will put a bunch of pictures, right? And I want this, and so I think people get into the area of not manifesting what they truly want in their life because they're trying to put things that look pretty.
Yep.
They're trying to put a whole bunch of things on there that they want in their life. But we know that your attention has to be focused in an area of what you're truly trying to manifest right now. What do you want your life to look like, or your relationship, or the home? As Sherri said, she's focused, she's very specific. She's focusing on her home because that's what she wants to bring into right here. I'm going to be in that house. I'm going to be living in that house. My mom's going to be proud of me. I'm going to get through this situation. So the first thing is to get a poster board, and then be clear and specific as to what it is you're trying to vision that has not come into your life. That would be my. Reverend Sherri is way more experienced than I am. So, Reverend Sherri, please feel free to add more. So that would be
No,
my.
I think what you said is absolutely perfect.
So, and then Antoinette says, do you agree that, put it on, can you put it on there?
Of course I can.
All right. So, do you agree that it is not only shame, but it is a process?
You got to tell me a little bit more about what you mean by that, in terms of it is a process. Do you mean that shame is a process,
Or maybe
or
going through what you were going through was a process.
maybe,
I don't know.
yeah.
Okay, so if you give us a little bit more clarity on that, we
Yeah,
will.
give me a little bit more clarity on that. But I would say shame is a habit.
Thank you, Facebook user. When I said what is the name of it, they said poster board. Yeah, it would be a poster board, right? You guys have
Thanks.
to excuse me. Like, I don't know. Sometimes like all these
No, baby, your
words
mind
and
just
thoughts
goes.
are going in my head, and I'm like, okay, trying to grab this. So
Yeah,
I
you're just
have
trying to get out a whole bunch of information.
I
That's
just have
okay.
to slow down
Yeah.
sometimes. All right. So what did Vicky say? Oh, good.
Good word.
Okay.
Yeah, she said.
All right,
good
good word, Reverend Sherri. All right, so let's go deeper
Golden.
into. I know we talked about, and maybe that's where it came from. Maybe Vicky actually listened to. I don't know. Episode number 93, and I know that you had said you started the process
Of
of
visioning.
right visioning the relationship that you wanted, and so maybe take us back to that when you go into, and don't go into as much detail because then they need to listen to episode number 93 because it was really good. And so tell us a little bit about when you said 2022 was your year to say I'm gonna make time for a relationship, and the
Sure.
process that you're starting to do now.
Sure. So one is interesting because since that episode, I've had so much on my plate that it's like,
Okay, I hear something coming because don't tell me you didn't fill out that profile.
you know, this moment in my experience, I had this conversation with Reverend Sherri the other day, and I said, it like just the time, like I've got a 8-year-old and
You know
all
what
of
that
this,
is,
like,
Reverend Sherri,
maybe
right?
this is. Hmm?
You know what that is. You know what that is.
She's trying.
It's sort of like when you make a decision to do something, everything gets thrown at you
Sure.
to help you to say, wow, like, that's the true
Yes.
testimony coming through the test. But go ahead.
Yeah. So no, that was what happened. That's what had happened.
So you telling us about how you're starting to manifest it, though. What you told
No,
us
but
about the.
I did.
Okay.
But here's what I know about manifestation, because this has been my experience, is that manifestation is never linear, right? So there are things that I have laid out and said, this is what I want and this is what I'm going to do. And then I'll start out walking in that direction, and life happens, right? Life, one of my members will say, life is out here lifing all over the place. And so life started lifing all over the place. And so I don't feel any level of like discouragement. I recognize that this is part of that manifestation process. It's not linear. And here's the thing about forms, that forms cannot exist without a foundation. Like every form in our experience has to stand on something. And so when it looks like things are not moving in the direction that I want them to, I really don't feel discouraged in any long-term way, because I understand that God prepares places before people, right? And so the
Right.
place in my life, whatever that looks like, in order for there to be a relationship, has to be prepared, or else it
Mm-hmm.
can't stand. It's a house built on sand. So so when life started lifing the way that it did, and I'm telling y'all, like this last like 6 weeks or whatever that time was,
So,
has been amazing. And I'm saying that that's my affirmation, because it has been just like, are you kidding me? Like this, like every, literally, even last night, we had a workshop last night for the financial firm, and a person showed up who, some person that wasn't completely in their right mind, and now I am faced with the task of how do I get this person out of the room. And the other thing is that they were very, very smelly.
Okay.
So how do I graciously like get this person out of the room without making a scene that then makes the company look bad? And
right.
anyway, all of this is happening. And this is what I mean. Like life is just lifing. And it's been multiple things like that, where it's just stuff out of the blue that comes up. So no, I have not filled out that dating profile.
Okay.
I,
All right.
I was
I,
really
No,
talking
that
about
was my
that.
question. I mean, that's what I wanted to get an answer to. But thank you. You took you
But
took me
wait,
all the way to.
hasn't it been 6 weeks?
That's getting close.
Okay, so we
If
just
it's
gonna
not,
change that.
yeah.
We just,
it
so
is close. It is. I do still have 2 weeks.
all right, so Reverend Sherri is talking about for 2022, she
Yeah.
has focused on starting the relationship, starting a
At least the
making time,
process.
making
At least the
time.
process, just walking in that direction.
Right. So, what do you? How do you? Let's go back to the vision boards, right?
Well, before you do that, I want to go ahead and get a finish with
comment?
Antoinette.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Antoinette gave a little bit more clarity.
Oh, girl, what was I experiencing during my time in 2008?
So I
Hmm.
I
think she was
was
talking about the
experiencing.
process. She
Yeah.
said, "Do you think what did that say?
No, no, she got it.
It's not a shame." No, when she was saying,
Oh,
"Would you
yes.
agree that it's not shame,
Or
but
process.
but a process? But it was a process.
Oh,
What you were
well,
experiencing."
sure, sure. But that, I would say that's me looking at it intellectually. In the moment, I felt just deep shame. Like
Okay.
it was in the moment, I felt embarrassed. I packed up my house in the middle of the night, so I didn't say bye to my neighbors. Like it felt extreme. It was an extreme experience,
And so,
and it
go ahead.
was something that I felt like I could talk about. I can talk about it now because
Hmm.
I'm past the experience, but at that time, it just was. It felt terrible.
So I think she's saying when it's a process, like you had to actually, like you had to outgrow, you had to be the best when you were talking about that, the best of where you were, and it was a process as to why you were kept experiencing what you were experiencing.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Good. Yeah, because you got in
Yeah.
trouble twice with the same house, right? Is that the one you got in trouble
Right,
with?
right.
No, it was so this was so I had gotten into real estate investing. So
Okay.
the home that lost was one in a set of properties.
Okay.
Okay.
But my primary home and another rental property I still held on to.
Okay. Got
Okay.
it.
All right.
Mhm.
So I wanted to go back to the visioning.
Mm-hmm.
How important is visioning when we're trying to actually create something in our lives, whether it's with the inner eye or the inner ear? How important is holding on to the vision of what you want?
I would say that it is enormously important to the manifestation process.
Okay.
So,
Mm-hmm.
visioning is important. And the reason that visioning is important is that it is the gateway for something different to come into your experience. So you life looks the way that it does because of what's going on up here.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, in order for something different to show up, something different has to happen up here. And so that visioning process is how we open the door for something new. for something better, for something wonderful. I also believe that you can inspire the visioning process by the
Mm-hmm.
environments that you put yourself in. So taking yourself to nice places, or putting yourself in nature, or exposing yourself to different books, those kinds of things give you ideas about what's possible for you.
So, Reverend Sherry, I know. Can we bring a Facebook user up so I can read that so he knows.
All
So
right.
go ahead.
All right. I'm not sure why my page says Facebook user, but I'm Mark Williams. Hey, Mark, how are you?
How
It's
are
good
you,
to see
Mark?
you, man.
Just clearing that up. So let's back to the show. Thank you, Mark. I wanted to bring that up.
Yep.
So let's talk about and I know our podcast is about relationships,
Yep.
right? And
Sure.
people having issues in relationships. And as you said, what's showing up in your life right now, in your relationship, in your finances, at your job, it's all about what's going on up here.
Yep. In your head.
Sure.
So when we talk about vision, how do we change our finances, our relationship by the visioning process?
How we view our jobs.
How we view our jobs. How do we change what's going on the outside so that it can be what we really want?
Sure. So the a couple things come to mind. The first is that you got to introduce to yourself the idea that things can be different.
All
Many
right.
people believe that things can be different, but they don't believe things can be different for them.
Right.
So they're willing to entertain the idea of something wonderful happening for someone else, but not necessarily the idea of that something wonderful can happen for them. So the first thing you got to do is just open the door to the possibility of it happening for you. One of the best ways to do that is through reading the stories of other great achievers.
Okay.
That when you read the stories of other great achievers, that it literally, it humanizes them, because you hear about the things that they're going through, right? When I tell
Mm-hmm.
you the story of me on the path to millionaire, but I also share with you that how low it had gotten with, being in foreclosure twice with the same home, right? Like,
Yeah.
right, that you was like, oh, well, wait a minute. And like you, those ordinary beginnings help you to see yourself in the picture, because that's part of what interferes with the manifestation, is that there's a great picture before you, but you don't see yourself in it. You imagine it being great for other people, but you never
Mm.
imagine it being great, or the possibility of it being great for you. And so I would say with visioning, it's just starting there. And so you can read the biographies of great achievers. Those biographies, what they do is that they collapse the distance between you and whatever greatness looks like. So pick up the autobiography of Nelson Mandela, pick up the biography of Desmond Tutu, pick up the biography of Martin Luther King, and people who have achieved great things, and read their stories, and pick up books of people that are alive and those that are not alive. Because what will happen is that you'll start to hear, it's going to give you ideas that you can then take advantage of. And it's going to seed your mind with possibility. That's really where it starts. It's just introducing the idea. The other thing that you can do is put yourself around the kinds of people that you want to be like. That is one of the best ways to do that. One, because iron sharpens iron.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are around people who are moving and operating at the pace that you want to move and operate at, you will begin to pick up those habits. And it's a powerful way to shift your environment. So go to conferences. Conferences are powerful ways for you to just be in the room where it is happening, and get next to people who are doing it the way that you want to do it.
Great advice. All
Yeah.
right. So a few other comments.
After that, hey, I agree
I,
with Reverend Sherry.
yeah,
All
we all
right. We
do.
all do.
Yeah. All
Yep.
right.
Jason, hey, thanks for watching, Jason. Appreciate it. That's my son, Jason.
Enjoying the conversation.
Enjoying the conversation. All
All
right.
right, all right. So as we close out, because I don't know, these ministers can really talk, can't they? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Yeah, we got.
Reverend Sherri, we definitely thank
Oh
you. I
my
know you are
goodness,
a
yes,
very busy woman, and it is
yes.
Friday, the end of the week, and we don't want to hold you any longer. But I have enjoyed the
Yeah, learned so
conversation.
much. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you to all of the viewers who are tuning in and commenting. I hope that you got some valuable information. If you have any more questions, you can always put them on Facebook or send them to us, and we will make sure we get them to Reverend Sherri. But Reverend Sherri, is there anything else when we're talking about manifesting money? And what was it? It's time. Can you put her website back out there? All right, it's time for you to start winning.
Yep.
All
Go
right,
ahead and get
so
jump on that
Time
email
to
list.
start winning.
that's
Yep.
Yes,
right.
yes,
So
yes.
I
Jump.
know 2022 has started off really good for us, and we're on we want to continue that pace. So we want to start winning in all areas. And I know, like you said, I know you mentioned that our creativity can't flow and we can't hear what God is saying if we're worrying about money, right? So let's get rid of the money problems. You can't. God is telling you how to overcome and how to get money, and you two worry about how to
Yes,
pay this bill. So when we have less issues, we can hear God speak to us more clearly, and we can, as
yes,
Reverend Sherri says, tune into that hearing so we know exactly what we need to do.
yes,
So
yes.
Rita Smith.
Okay. Yep. Cynthia,
Oh,
this has been amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Cynthia, for checking
Thank
in.
you.
We really appreciate you. Antoinette,
Thank
blessings
you.
and
Thank you.
blessings to you as well.
and then Rita Smith says,
Got to create my vision. That's right. You
Yes,
got to
ma'am.
get your
That's
money
right.
right.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes. Get your vision. Get your life right. This is
So-
what this is all about.
this is the only thing I would say out there to everyone. If for any reason, because we are, I know Vicky Thomas says, thank you. I'm sorry, before I said,
Yep.
thank you,
Greg.
great session.
Yep.
So for anyone out there who is not demonstrating in their life with money, they're not manifesting it the way they want to, right? And we have to change the narrative. We have to rewrite our story. I would recommend that you go to Reverend Sherri's page. Bring it up one more time, Jace.
I sure will, babe.
Thank you. And sign up for that for her start manifesting money in 2022.
Yeah.
Also get
Yes.
her book, The
Yep.
Money Poems. We have to start, as she said, nothing changes if nothing changes. So we can't want change and not change. All right. So we have to start doing things a little bit different. And sometimes we don't want to jump into it, into a big old swimming pool if we can't swim. We don't want to jump into the ocean, but we do want to take steps to get there. So let's start somewhere. So let's start with the money poems, the book. Let's start with signing up on manifesting money in 2022. Let's start with getting on her mailing list so she can give us tidbits, and maybe even sometimes we have to gradually step into that process
Sure.
of doing it, right?
Right.
Because
A little bit at a time,
little bit
especially
at a
when you're
time.
talking about making changes like this and manifesting things. It's a lot of work that you're gonna have to do on yourself. So let's take it
Very
step
much
by
so.
step.
and as we always, what we say is, see you at the top because the bottom is way too crowded.
For sure.
Way too crowded, guys. So let's start manifesting in 2022. All right, Reverend
Hey,
Sherri.
Tarina, thank you so much for checking in. She said, I'm enjoying the conversation. So are we. We really appreciate you coming in.
What did she say? With that?
I do a vision board every
Every
year for myself, and it works for
Yeah.
me. Yes, you just started a business too, Tarina. Best of luck with that. See, you just put that thing on that vision board and make it happen.
I would also say start your son. So we know, Tarina, start your son with the vision board. It's never too early to start understanding how we work, how our powers can work, how we can tune into what it is we have the power to do. All right, Reverend Sherri. So close out with one more fast, whatever you want to give us.
Drop one last bomb before we get out of here.
One last
tidbit.
ball. I got a couple bombs. Okay. Yeah. So one, I would just encourage you to really just to open up to the idea that opportunity is everywhere, evenly present. And I think that's probably the biggest thing for people to really grasp. We have believed, especially people of color, we believe that opportunity has been monopolized, but opportunity comes from God, which means that opportunity is like God. And God is everywhere, evenly present. So is opportunity. And we have previously, the only thing that can make opportunities move away from you, and it's not really that it can't move away from you because we're swimming in it. We're like the fish in water. But people can convince you that opportunity is monopolized. And if you get that, this is a really, really big piece, because people will say, well, they'll only let a certain few through.
Mm-hmm.
If you get that opportunity can never be monopolized, and if you hold on to that, you will begin to open up and say that, you know what, right where I am, there is something that I can do that will begin to create the kind of wealth that I require in my life.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Reverend Sherri.
Oh,
That is
that
so
is
awesome.
wonderful.
And so I think that ends it. Thank you, everyone, for your comments.
Yeah, I
And
want to say
again,
one thing before we get out of here.
all right.
All right, guys, if you could do me a favor, go over to YouTube and put in Legendary Relationship and subscribe to the channel. We would greatly appreciate it. All of this stuff will be in the show notes of the YouTube channel. So if you can just go over there and check us out and
Click it up.
subscribe.
Click on it, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Legendary Relationship. We only have one relationship at a time, so it's no S. Legendary Relationship at YouTube.
Yeah.
Off the time people say, well, I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Well, it's just Legendary Relationship. We want the relationship that we're in to be legendary. So again, our podcast comes out every Wednesday. You can listen to it. You can go listen to the podcast at any time, anywhere. You get your
Podcast delivered, or you can check us out on YouTube, and that's at Legendary. Loving Beyond the I Do. That's where the podcast is delivered. We have the video portion and as well as the audio. So that is at Loving Beyond the I Do on YouTube as well.
Thank you again, Reverend Sherri. It has been great, and we're about to get out of here because
Yeah.
it's been way too long. All right, but it was good. So we'll have some more conversations about this. And Jason and I always say relationships and good marriages are made. They are created. They don't just happen. So
That's
let's
right.
make sure, and the same thing with finances. Let's make sure that we're maintaining and we're tuning up where we need to so that we can manifest the things in our lives.
That's right. Things just don't happen. We make them happen.
That's right. All right.
All right. So thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you.
Thank you.